It's Night of the Podcast.
Welcome, horror fiends, to Night of the Podcast, a one-man horror show where I, Brian, talk to you about all things spooky, creepy, horror, and Halloween-related. Hope everyone's getting into the holiday spirit with all the holiday cheer and holiday horror movies around. I know there's a lot of them, which I briefly spoke on last week, having watched Christmas Evil. Now, for this week, I'm going to be talking about the 2015 movie All Through the House, directed by Todd. I think it's Nunez? Might be Nunez, Nuns, Nunes. I don't know. Pronunciation is not my strong suit. So, All Through the House. What is All Through the House about? It's a Santa that terrorizes people. And that's that. That's the premise of the movie. There's a little bit more to the plot, actually, than just a Santa that is terrorizing people. You can tell from the beginning of the movie that the Santa has escaped from some institution of sorts, possibly. But yes, let's talk about the beginning of All Through the House. Right away, the movie starts off, and I'm like, okay, cool. I like the title card, solid title card. And then, the first shot of the film, you see this creepy Santa costume sitting outside someone's house. I don't know why anyone would do this, but it looks cool. It looks super, super cool. And then there's these three kids, and there's like a dialogue between them, which is awful. They are just not good actors. And they the one kid's daring the other kid to throw a rock to knock the mask off the Santa. He throws the rock and knocks the mask off the Santa, and it is just a statue, a doll, so to say, that was set up outside the person's house. And then that's like the very beginning of the movie. You see feet walk up, like a robe or something, which I believe is to be assumed from, again, an institution, drop to the ground, and then they pick up the Santa mask, and the killing begins. So I like the opening scene. It was fine. The acting was not good from the children. It's okay though. A lot of the acting in this movie is not very good. So just go in knowing that. All in all, the way the movie looks, the way it is shot, it looks slightly amateur-esque. It doesn't have the 24 frame big production movie feel. I don't know if that's because of the camera they decided to shoot on or if it's possibly the frame rate that they chose to shoot on. It doesn't look like it was shot in 24 frames. It may be in 30 because it has this kind of little bit of a soap opera feel to it. Not entirely. I know there's some movies out there that shoot with a household camera at 60 frames FPS, and that just most of the time that's what you get. You get that soap opera feel. It doesn't really feel cinematic. This movie doesn't look incredibly cinematic either, which kind of stinks because there's a lot of nice shots in it, and if they had that cinematic look, it would feel and be way better. That overall distinction of a big production movie from a small production movie is, of course, the frame rate and the camera. And this one, it irked me, but you have to put that aside because that's not the plot. That's not the way the movie is put together. It's not the director. It's just, the equipment that's used. And if there's a good story, which there really wasn't in this case, then it is forgivable. But like I said, this one wasn't the best of stories. Now, practical effects wise, there are a bunch of practical effects in All Through the House, and the practical effects are great. I loved them. The kills in this movie are really good. Some of them are laughable, but they're a good laugh. It's supposed to be funny, I think, in some of them, and it was. And because of that, I enjoyed it. There is some penis mutilation. I mean, who doesn't like seeing a couple of dicks get chopped off? I don't know. Raise your hand. So there is some penis mutilation. There's some boobs. I think there's one set of boobs. There's a lot of teasing to boobs, but you only see one pair of boobs. And the majority of the kills, I believe, happen during sexual activities or leading up to sexual activities. So it makes you wonder what this Santa was all about. And his weapon of choice is hedge clippers, like the guy in The Burning, or pruning shears. Those aren't pruning shears. Maybe they are no, wait. I don't know. They're one of the two. I'm going to call them hedge clippers. So he uses a big pair of hedge clippers, the killer does, to mutilate and murder people. So overall, All Through the House was a fun little flick. I do recommend watching it. It's currently on Amazon Prime, so if you do have Amazon Prime, give this one a go. I think it's around an hour and 25 minutes or so, maybe an hour and 20 without the credits. So it's definitely worth a watch just for the kills alone. The quality of the kills, like I said, is fun. You get a couple of people around and you watch this movie, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy yourselves. Again, the acting is not very good. It's laughable in parts, but all in all through the house is a fun little movie. So, with that being said, I'm going to give All Through the House 5.5 out of 10 severed penises. So, if you have Amazon Prime, check this one out. If you don't, well, you're going to miss out on this little gem for the holiday season. Maybe you're thinking 5.5 out of 10 severed penises isn't the best rating that Brian could have given it, and I don't want to watch it. But believe me, these 5.5 severed penises are worth your time. That's all I have for this week's episode. Thank you for tuning in and listening, everyone. You can always subscribe to the YouTube channel or to the SoundCloud or to the iTunes. You can even subscribe there if you like what you hear and see. So you can also follow me on Instagram at XXHalloweenXX. Please be sure to like the page at Night of the Podcast on Facebook and continue checking out episodes each and every Friday. Thank you again, everyone. And until next time, good night, good fright. Be careful what lurks when you turn out the lights.